I need to confess something really unsettling. I spent my entire early adult years chasing the wrong feeling. I thought the goal was to achieve happy, the curated, filtered, LinkedIn bio happy. The kind of happy that looks like a great career, a ridiculously expensive matcha latte, and a deep sense that you've finally hacked life. But here's the problem with chasing happy. It's a high-stakes, high-pressure performance, and every time I missed a deadline, every time a relationship fizzled out, every time I looked at my bank account, I failed that performance. And if you're failing the performance, you can't be happy. So you have to lie. The lie starts with the simplest question in the English language, a question that is now essentially meaningless. It's the question that dictates your entire social life. It's the gatekeeper to emotional honesty, and it's the question I'm going to challenge today. Are you ready? The question is, of course, how are you? We have collectively decided that there is only one acceptable answer to how are you? And that answer is, I'm good, thanks. You? It is a spiritual reflex. It's the social script we follow to ensure the entire system doesn't grind to a halt in a flurry of genuine, messy, human complexity. Imagine, just for one painful, awkward second, if you told the truth. Imagine standing at the water cooler, and when Karen from accounting asks, "How are you?" you lean in and whisper, "Karen, actually, I'm a high-functioning disaster. My anxiety meds are wearing off. I think my mortgage application is going to get rejected, and I haven't genuinely laughed in 3 weeks. But yeah, I'm good." Karen would panic. She would instinctively back away. She would think you were either unstable, or worse, you were trying to sell her something. We don't ask, "How are you?" because we genuinely want to know how the raw architecture of your soul is holding up. We ask it as a necessary preamble to the transaction. It means, please confirm your operational status so we can move on to the actual business of the day. And we oblige, because we are terrified of disrupting the script. We are terrified that if we admit we are not good, we will be seen as weak. We'll be seen as a burden. We'll be seen as the cracked foundation that the entire building of polite society rests upon. And that fear, that deep, ancient fear of being rejected for being messy, is why so many of us are desperately lonely while standing in a crowded room. Because we are all carrying the same secret. We are not, in fact, good. I know this script well because I lived it for decades. You see, my childhood wasn't about the picturesque coastal town vibe you see on travel blogs. It was defined by the relentless, grinding texture of lack of money, lack of stability, and, crucially, lack of quiet. My parents, bless their hearts, were constantly at war, not shouting matches, though there was plenty of that, but a cold, simmering, zero-sum game of resentment. A child in that environment learns one fundamental lesson. The only way to survive is to be invisible, useful, or excellent. I chose excellence. When I failed the entrance exams for the university I wanted, I didn't just feel disappointment. I felt shame. It wasn't, "Oh, I failed the test." It was, I failed the only metric by which I was valuable to my family, and therefore, the world. The pain of that failure, compounded by the constant tension at home, became so enormous, so structurally unsound, that sometimes I would just walk to the coast at night. I would stand there, staring at the black, churning water, and in those moments, I didn't think about dying. I thought about disappearing, about releasing the pressure valve. And the thought that always accompanied me on those nights, the profound, agonizing absence in my memory, was this: no one ever asked me the real question. No one ever looked into my eyes, past the forced smile and the fake homework completion, and simply asked, "Hey, are you okay?" Not, "Did you get the grade?" Not, "Did you fix the argument?" Just, "Are you internally holding together?" I wasn't looking for a therapist. I wasn't looking for a solution. I was looking for a witness. Someone to validate the internal chaos and say, "Yeah, that looks heavy. Let's sit here with it for a minute." But when you grow up in a system where performance is currency, emotional integrity feels like bankruptcy. You learn to swallow it. You learn to wear the mask of, "I'm good," even when your internal organs feel like they're rearranging themselves in panic. And that, my friends, is how we build lives on rotten foundations. We become experts at tiling over the cracks. We put on a fresh coat of paint, a new job title, a fancy car, a relationship status, but underneath, the structure is compromised. The house is leaning, and all it takes is one metaphorical earthquake, a redundancy, a breakup, a health scare for the whole thing to come tumbling down. So, let's talk about the word okay, because we have grossly misused and undervalued it. Okay is not the opposite of terrible. And it is certainly not a synonym for ecstatic. Okay is a state of fundamental structural integrity. When an engineer asks if the bridge is okay, they don't mean, "Is this bridge currently hosting a rave?" They mean, "Can this bridge safely bear the weight of daily traffic without collapsing into the river?" Okay means, "I am currently capable of standing upright, breathing, and processing information, even if I am sad, exhausted, or deeply frustrated." It is the permission to be human, incomplete, and functional all at once. And here's the radical shift we need to make. We need to stop using the word good when we mean okay, because when we say good, we feel obligated to provide evidence. We start listing our achievements, our hustle, the highlights reel. We are defending the claim, but when we learn to say, "I am okay, but honestly, it's been a bit heavy lately," we open the door to genuine connection. We allow ourselves to be witnessed. Why is this so terrifying? Because in the modern world, especially the hyper-optimized Western world, we have spiritualized suffering. We have convinced ourselves that if we are suffering, it must be because we are not optimizing correctly. We believe that happiness is simply a matter of the right morning routine, the right manifesting journal, the right supplement stack. If you're miserable, it's a user error. This belief system, the spiritual bypass, is what keeps us isolated. It tells us, your pain is proprietary. Keep it to yourself. Fix yourself before you go out in public. But pain, exhaustion, and sadness are not flaws. They are indicators. They are the dashboard lights telling you the oil is low. If you ignore them and just paint over the light, the engine still seizes up. So, how do we fix this? We start small, and we start with ourselves. We relearn how to ask, "Are you okay?" And we relearn how to hear the answer. First, stop asking that question as a drive-by greeting in the hallway. Only ask it when you have the dedicated emotional bandwidth to hold the answer. If you have to rush off to a meeting in 30 seconds, just say, "Hey, great to see you." Don't use the emotional nuclear option unless you can manage the fallout. Second, when you ask, give them the pause, a real pause. Not the 3/10 of a second pause before they launch into their scripted answer. I mean a dedicated 4-second space of silence. It's the silent invitation that says, "I am serious. You can trust me with the messy truth." And third, when they give the automatic, "I'm fine," follow up, not aggressively, but gently. You say, "Yeah, I hear you. But seriously, how's the foundation? How are you holding up right now? It cuts through the performance. It shows you saw the mask. And if they still say fine, you respect it, but you've offered the life raft. Now, let's flip it. What about answering? When someone asks you, and they give you the space, don't feel compelled to unleash 10 years of repressed trauma. Just start with a small truth. Maybe you say, honestly, I'm exhausted, but I'm here and I'm breathing, so I'm okay. That's enough. That is an act of radical vulnerability in a world built on curated perfection, because you are telling the truth without demanding they fix it. You are simply stating your current weather pattern, and the moment you state that truth, even just to one trusted person, the foundation starts to repair itself. The shame, which thrives in silence, loses its power. I spent years believing that success meant never needing help. I thought being strong meant never showing weakness. I thought being good was the ultimate goal. But being truly okay is far more resilient. Being okay means knowing the cracks exist, acknowledging the weight, and still showing up for your life. It means accepting that sometimes life is just heavy, and that doesn't mean you are failing. It means you are participating. So, I'm not going to ask you how you are right now. I'm going to ask you to ask yourself, with deep, profound honesty, the question that the child version of you always needed to hear. Look at yourself in the metaphorical mirror, take a deep breath, and whisper it. Hey, are you okay? If the answer is a messy, complicated no, but I'm working on it, that's fine. That is more than fine. That is where real growth begins. Don't chase happy, chase okay. Because okay is the foundation strong enough to hold whatever joy or chaos life decides to throw at you next. Thank you.